guys, this is Dr. Callahan for Algebra 2, Semester 2, Week 19, Monday. Pause the video and answer the following 3 questions for your warm-up. All right, so today, you guys, is the 23rd. This is week 19. This really is your last full week, Monday through Friday. Next week, you guys have a 3-day weekend. This coming Monday is Memorial Day, so it's like the kickoff to summer. I know I've been talking about this like a long time, but I can't believe it's actually here. Then I'll see you guys on next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This Thursday, next Thursday, which is 6. Okay, totally did not write this correctly. 6/2 is going to be your very last day to turn any of your missing assignments in from Math, Excel, etc. Because when I see you guys on that Friday, which is 6/3, that's the start of your final during second period. Second period final starts at 9/4. No, just kidding. 6/4. Like all these darn classes. I'll see you guys 6/6. Just kidding. My gosh. I'm totally bombing this. On that Monday, I will see you guys for third period. So June 6th at 7:45 in the morning. You guys only have 15 minutes late time. After 8 o'clock, I'm locking the doors and you'll get it incomplete. Okay, until you make up the final the following year. So I'm not even supposed to give you guys any moments to show up, you know, if you're past 7:45, but I'm like, it's an adjustment because you guys are not here first period generally. So I'll give you that 15-minute as a courtesy. After that 15-minute, the doors will be locked and you'll get it incomplete. And then you just take your final next year when you come back in August. Okay, so I would suggest that if you need the grade, you definitely want to make sure you show up on time. Okay, so yeah, next Monday. This Friday is the last day for your warm-up. So make sure you guys have the boxes filled in. It's going to be 300 points, 100 on the boxes, 100 on your participation for the last 9 weeks, and 100 on your preparations if you're prepared for class. For this next Thursday, which is the last day for you to turn anything in, all of your missing assignments are on that table by that door, the door that we never use against the wall. So if you guys are inclined to grab it, you feel free to do whatever you need to. It's never too late in this class to turn in your missing assignments. I give you guys until the very end, which is next Thursday, but there is a 10 to 40% deduction for being late, and also just be equitable for people that turn things in on time. So, but yeah, but that Thursday is the very last day to turn any of your missing assignments in. After that, my answer is no, I will not take it. I'm not going to grade it. Okay, but up to this point, you're still good. You still have like a week and a half. June 2nd, Thursday, last day for you to turn anything in. So we talked about that. You have until 2:25 p.m. So before your 6th period class ends. So, yep. Your common district final, we're going to continue working on it. On the day of your test, you have a TI-84, answer Scantron, number 2 pencil, and then a test book. You can write in your test book. Your desk will be in rows and columns, so you will not be looking at each other. You'll be looking at the wall, basically. And you have 120 minutes to finish your test, and that'll be the last grade going to your grade book. And then I say, have a great summer. Your grades are basically graded based on a scale of 10. Although for your final, if you have 45 questions, it's going to be out of 45 points, just so you know, for your final. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at your YouTube channel. So for you to get caught up with your warm-up log, I will highly suggest that you look at the blank boxes for the weeks that it's blank. Go to the YouTube channel and then pause the video at the very beginning to get all of the warm-up question that you missed. There are 85 videos. It looks like some of you guys actually didn't watch it because I do see the changes in the number. I have week 18 Thursday right there. So immediately I'm thinking, crap, I forgot something on Friday. So let me see if I can find it. And I do, it's right here. So let me cut that. Let's paste it right over here. Paste that. And then we're going to go ahead and just add it on here. So upload the video. Friday, here we go. So on Friday, you guys continued on with your instructional material for number 7 to 14. So if you have not gone over those yet, the video is available for you guys. And that's important because remember, these questions are very similar to the actual test questions on your final. You don't not want to have a safety grade of 75% and then end up failing the final. And they're like, well, even if I don't do well in the final, there's a 50% curve. Yeah, but that's assuming you actually got a 50%. Like if you get below a 50% on the final, you still have a 50%. You know what I mean? Like if you get a 60% on the final, then your 60% stays, right? But if you get below a 50, the curve will guarantee you at least a 50%. But a 50% is not passing, so your grade is still going to go down. So that's why I said your safety grade is at a 75%, right? So don't try to take risks with your grade, because if you end up failing the final and you end up failing the class and you go, what can I do to raise my grade? My response is going to be nothing, because I'm done with the class. You know, it's already done with. So if you need to change your grade, now is the time to do it before next Thursday. I mean, that's all you have left. All right, so let's move on. So you have those grades up there. Your checklist, warm-up log, Math Excel, Wednesday assessment, check your missings on Infinite Campus, look at your study guide for your final, that's a big one, and just think about the weeks that you need to go ahead and improve. So last Friday, we went over questions number 7 all the way to 14. So if you missed those questions, watch the video so that way you know what it is that you need to do with this, because that is updated on the YouTube channel. So today is week 19 Monday. We're going to go over, this is our day 3 of the study guide, and you need a TI-84 and a pilot. So come on up, you guys, and grab those 2 things. All your test questions relies on your knowledge on using a TI-84 calculator. So make sure you know where the buttons are. You might think you know where the buttons are, but I'm going to tell you right now, you really don't. So make sure you have a TI-84. Today, we're going to go over questions number 15 to 25. And I'm hoping that maybe by this Friday, we will be done with the study guide. That's kind of my goal. And then we'll just review a little bit more next week on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we have 3 days of review. And then you guys start your final on next Friday. My last day for seeing you guys is going to be next Thursday. This Friday, your warm-up log is due. So this is it, you guys. And then next Thursday is also the very last day for you to turn any assignments in. And then I'll see you guys on that Monday, next Monday for the final. And that's it. This class is over then. This is your study guide. Does anybody need a copy of this? Anyone need a copy? Everyone have a copy? All right, so let's go ahead and get started on questions number 15 to 25. So everybody turn over here to where it says number 15. And it looks like this. It's numbered number 15. Does anybody need a copy of this? You will be turning this in, and this is going to be your grade for the Math Excel for week 18, 19, and 20. Okay, so you won't have any grades for Math Excel because I stopped assigning it, but this is going to replace that. So your grade is still going, you guys. I know you're like, but it's senior ditch day. I know, but you guys are not seniors. You're non-seniors. So you're going to be here. You're going to be doing this. Okay, so let's take a look at number 15. For number 15, which of the following is equivalent of this? Did we go over this? I feel like we did. No? Okay. I'm like, maybe I'm just looking at questions and they're all kind of rolling into one or something, because I'm doing the same thing with my freshmen. And I was like, did we go over this? All right. Okie doke. If you're not sure which one the answer is, because at this point, I really don't know what the answer is. I have a few ideas, but you know, they all look very similar to me. So if you're not sure about this, can I have you guys just stop talking so I can go over this in class? Thank you. So you can always go to your answer sheet at the very end. This question is number 15. So your answer is D as in dog. So we're just gonna kind of work backwards. If you're like, I don't know how to do this question, remember it's also organized based on your topic. So go to the guided notes of topic 4 on rational functions and go through your notes. That's another strategy you can do. So your answer is D as in dog. So I'm going to work backwards and go, why is this answer D as in dog? So what I'm looking at is it's 2 different fractions conforming into 1. So I know the 2 has a 1 on the very bottom. So if I were to make sure I have common denominators and I go ahead and minus that like that, or not minus it, but if I multiply a top and bottom, then on my right side, what I'm going to have for the second fraction is I'm going to end up with 2 times x is 2x minus 6 over, on the bottom, x minus 3. Do you guys see how your fraction and the denominator are exactly the same? So then what you do is the numerator, you can combine them. And when you look at the numerator, 2x minus 6 plus 9, that's going to give you a combination of 2x plus 3, which is exactly what you have right there, right? So if you were to work backwards, you could do guess and check. And if you're to add A, C, and B, chances are you're not going to have the same answer as that. Because if I chose A, for example, and I put x minus 3 on the bottom, x minus 3 on top, I will know that when I distribute the 3, I get a 3x minus 9. And then if you look at it, 3x minus 9 plus 2 is going to give me a 3x minus 7, which does not equal the numerator there. So you could work backwards to do that. Or you can use a little bit of strategy and go, okay, 2x plus 3 over x minus 3 plus, you know the bottom is going to be an x minus 3. On top, it's going to be an x minus 3. So you got to ask yourself, okay, 2x plus 3 plus x minus 3, how is that going to give me a 2x plus 3? Like that, okay? So you can kind of think about working it backwards in that sense. And one of the things that you can do is if you have a 2x minus 3 right here, you know you're probably going to have a 2 on the outside, which is going to coincide with this 2 right there at the very bottom, okay, or the behind, the 9. So several different ways for you guys to work. I think guessing check will probably be my preference just because it's an easier way of doing that. The bad thing is that if you guess and you guess all 3 questions incorrectly, then you're doing a little bit of work, but it's the for sure way of getting to the correct answer. All right, number 16, which statement describes the end behavior of this function right here? Remember, for your end behavior, you're looking at the horizontal asymptote. And your horizontal asymptote means that you look at the highest number here, or the highest power. So here you have a 3x over x. You know that this number right here is a 1. So then you know that your horizontal asymptote is going to be approaching just to 3, because 3 divided by 1 gives me 3. So as I'm looking at this answer right here, I know A is not going to be it because that's a 5. D is not going to be it because that's going to be a 5 as well. So it's either B or C. And I'm feeling like it's probably going to be C as in cat, but I'm not sure. So let's take a look at the answer for number 18. 18 is B as in boy. Or hold on a second, let's go back to this one. No, I'm sorry, this is number 16. Number 16 is C as in cat. Okay, so let's go back to here. It is C as in cat because as x is approaching the infinity, your y value should be approaching a 3, which is what I said, because remember, it's 3 over 1. And as x approaches positive infinity, your horizontal asymptote is approaching positive 3, which is exactly what you have here as well. My big pen just stopped working. So let's, oh, there we go. This one works. And so it's not B, it is C as in cat. Now, on the other hand, remember there are 2 other rules. Well, what if I don't just have an x and an x? Because you know the power is 1 and a 1, they're same power. What if you have like an x squared, like a 3x squared over x, like that, where the power on top is bigger, okay? Remember we went over the 3 different rules. If the top is bigger, then your y value, your horizontal asymptote, does not exist, okay? And then on the other hand, what if I have like 2x to the 4th over 3x to the 6th? Where do you see how the power on the bottom is bigger than the top? Then in which case your horizontal asymptote is just equal to 0. Those were the 3 different rules that we talked about, you guys, with horizontal asymptotes. And so, yeah. But if they have the same power, like 1 and 1, you just look at the coefficient. So 3 divided by 1. Number 17, which of this graph with any vertical or horizontal asymptote indicated by the dashed lines? Okay, so immediately you know that your horizontal asymptote is 3/1. If you think about that, horizontal is a line that goes across. So this is saying y equals 3. The only one that I see with that is A. So this is y equals 3. Now, you're like, what about the line that goes up and down? If you have a line that goes up and down, this is the vertical asymptote. So you always look at the vertical asymptote by setting the denominator equal to 0. So my denominator here is x plus 3 equals 0. So my vertical asymptote is x equals -3. And if you look at A, is it at x equals -3 for this vertical asymptote? Yes, it is. Vertical asymptote is in blue. Horizontal asymptote is in red. So +3, -3, your answer is A as in apple. And just to make sure that this is correct, because just in case it's not, I always like to go back to my answers and check. And number 17, it is indeed A as in apple. So you can rest assured that your answer is correct. So again, horizontal asymptote, look at the powers, okay? Use the 3 rules. If your numerator is going to be bigger than the denominator, it does not exist. If your numerator is going to be smaller than your denominator, then it is 0. And then if your numerator is equal than your denominator, then look at the numbers in the front. So it'll be just 3, okay? So those are the 3 rules for the horizontal asymptote. Vertical asymptote, you take your denominator, set it equal to 0, and then solve for it. If you're like, I still need a little bit more reassurance on this, go to your topic 6, which is one of the packets we went over in class, and we'll have that there. Number 18, so use your highlighters. Go ahead and highlight the important information. On your common district final, unfortunately, you won't have highlighters, but that's okay because you can have your pencils and you can underline it or box important information. And you won't be able to use any of your notes on your common district final, although it was up to me, I would say absolutely you can, but unfortunately they won't let you. So a candy company purchases a machine that makes lollipop for $15,000. That's a very expensive machine. The company also pays 35 cents for ingredients for each lollipop. Write a function for the total average cost of making each lollipop. Okay, since this is a one-time cost for $15,000, $15,000 is just gonna be by itself. There's no x's involved. X is going to equal the number of lollipops that you're going to make. And this has to be attached to 35 cents because for each lollipop, there's 35 cents. That's going to cost for the ingredients. So 0.35x. And given the fact that it's asking you for each lollipop, I mean, as I'm looking at this, this is the beginning of my equation. So take a look to see which one it's definitely not going to be. I would say it's not going to be A because do you see how the X is with the 15,000? It's not going to be C because the X is with the 15,000. So it could either be B or D. This is the cost of this is going to be the cost of the machine plus each cost of the ingredients for each lollipop, but you got to divide this by the number of lollipops there are because it's asking for the average cost. So keyword is average. Like when you look for the mean, don't you add everything together, but then you divide it by the number that there are, right? Like sum, average, right? So you have to divide it by X. So the only one that works in this case is B as in boy. That is your correct answer. But even if you didn't know that, just by eliminating A and C, you're like, well, you get a 50% chance of getting the right answer if you pick D or B. So All right, so for number 19. All right, so for number 19, let's take a look at this. It is a division, so just keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and factor the numerator on top. So you ask yourself, what times what gives you a -10? When you add it together, gives you a -3. I don't know about you, but I think the only two numbers that work is a 5 and a 2. But do you see how the 3 is a negative? So the 5 has to be a negative because the bigger number has to be a negative in order for the middle number to be a negative. So that's what I'm factoring in out. Then take a look at the denominator. What times what gives me a -3, but when I add it together, it gives me a +2. So the other two numbers that work is a 3 and a 1. But you're like, where's my negative? Okay, do you see how the middle number here is a positive? So your negative has to be the smaller number and your positive number has to be the bigger number. Okay, so that's how you factor it out. Now that you have this, you have the division. I'm going to change that division to a multiplication, but then remember in 4th grade, you got to flip the second fraction. So x plus 3 is now the numerator, x plus 5 is now the denominator. And here's the fun part. What can you cancel? Like, what is the same top and bottom? Like, I can see that there's an x plus 3, so that gets canceled. And I think that's about it. That's it. There's nothing else you can cancel. So your answer in the situation is x minus 5, x plus 2 on top, x minus 1, x plus 5 on the bottom. And the only one that matches is A as in apple, you guys. So that is your answer. So don't miss this one. This one's a really easy one. All right, number 21. 21 is a really easy one. It's like adding a fraction. Your common denominator has to be the same. And lucky for you, they didn't make it that difficult. It is exactly the same. So then you just combine the top. What is 7 minus 11? -4 over x minus 4. And oh my gosh, I can't believe they made it so easy. I thought they were going to switch it up your answer a little bit, but no, that matches D as in dog. So that's it. I was thinking they were going to like change the signs on the bottom because technically you could rewrite this as in like a +4 on top and 4 minus x on the bottom. Do you see that? How I just switched the signs? You could technically do that. So I thought maybe that was going to be one of your answers, but they didn't do that. They just made it very simple and straight up. Okay, number 22. So this one is not as easy because they did not give you the common denominator. This time they're like, we definitely want you to prove to me that you know what the heck it is that you're doing. But that's okay because you guys are a smart group of kids and you will be able to do this just fine. All right, so let's factor the bottom. For the bottom right there, you have x squared minus 16. This is one of those specialized factoring, remember, it's an x and an x. And you know the square root of 16 is a 4 and a 4. Because they have to cancel each other, one of them has to be a positive, the other one has to be a negative, okay? So then what is your common denominator? My common denominator has to be an x minus 4 and an x plus 4 because you have to include all the terms from both denominators. So when I look at my second fraction right here, what is it missing? It's missing an x plus 4, right? So you multiply it top and bottom. And then when you do that, you want to distribute this. You have 2x. Well, I'm going to distribute the negative as well. -2x minus 8. So then let's go ahead and combine everything in the numerator. 3x minus 2x is going to give me a 1x. 4 minus 8 is a negative 4. In the denominator, you have x plus 4, x minus 4, because remember, your denominator stays the same. And then you can also cancel the x minus 4. So the only thing that's on top is now a 1. So you have 1 over x plus 4. So the only answer that matches this one is D as in dog. And again, you want to make sure that this is filled out because we'll be turning this in. And if you just simply go, oh, well, you gave me the answer, so I'll just circle D for number 22, and I'll just circle A for number 14. That's not going to work. You need to show me the work of how you got to the answer. Okay, so have the work there. Me giving you the answer at the very back is not so you can just cheat your way through this. That's not the purpose. It's so you can use it to your benefit of checking your answer. But to get full points on this for the study guide for week 18, 19, and 20, make sure you have the work in there as well, you guys. All right, number 23. This is a really crappy question, and I don't like it because they're asking for the steps, and it's saying, what's the next step after step 4? Okay, so read the steps first, see what they're doing. And then what is step 5? Okay, so let's see what they're doing here. I see that they factor this because they need to put that into 2 parentheses. So they're factoring the denominator, which is good. And then after they factor that, you know that your common denominator is going to need an x minus 4 on the last fraction, the second fraction. And that's exactly what they did right there. And then afterwards, what they did is they combined the top together. So when you combine this, you're going to get a 6x minus 3 minus x squared plus 4x. So your very next step is for you to distribute this. So you have 6x minus 3. Negative x times x is a negative x squared. Negative x times negative 4 is a positive 4x over, and your denominator will be just x plus 3, x minus 4. So you're going to say, okay, well, where is my next step? Where does this match? That's my numerator. I think it's C as in cat. Yep, that's the only one that matters. C as in cat. If you look at some of the questions there, you guys, like there are the answers, they look very similar. Like this one, the only difference is there's an X, so be very careful, but it doesn't have an X, so you can't have the 4X there. A lot of these ones are very similar. So when you guys are matching the answers together, make sure you're careful. Nothing sucks more than if you did all that work, you got the right answer, but then for some reason your eyesight failed you and then you just matched it incorrectly, because that would really suck. All right, number 24. I think this is our last one. I think it is 15 of 24. So this will be our last one. I feel like 10 a day is enough, because after that, I'm like, I'm losing interest. All right, so if each of the following expressions is defined, which is equivalent to negative x equals or x minus 1? All right, so let's see. Let's start off with A. With A, hopefully you guys know you can just cancel this one, but that gives you an x plus 1. That's not the same thing as x minus 1, so it's not A. Let's take a look at B. It's a multiplication, so you don't need to flip anything. I can cancel the x plus 2. I can cancel the x plus 1, and guess what? You're left with x minus 1. So far, B looks like a good contender. But if you have a little bit of time, let's just check C and D to make sure why they're not the right answer. For D, you have the common denominator of x plus 2. So on top, you have an x plus 1, x minus 1. That's not x minus 1, so it can't be D. And then if you take a look at C, you got to flip this. So then that way you have x minus 2 on top, x plus 2 on the bottom. And then let's go ahead and see what we can cancel. We can cancel x plus 2, boom, done. X minus 2, boom, done. And then what you're left with is x plus 1. Well, that doesn't work because I need an x minus 1. So the only answer that does work with us is B as in boy. And that's generally how you check it. But do you see how like the questioning that they ask you is not what is the answer? It's saying which one is equal to x minus 1? I'll give you the answer, but you have to figure out which of the 4 questions does it match to. So it does require you to think a little bit more outside the box. All right, you guys, so we're done with the number 24, which is great. Yay for that. So tomorrow when I see you guys for week 19 Tuesday, let's make sure that we go over numbers. Oh, I think I said 25. I'll just do 24. Here we go. 25 to 34. And then with that progression, we'll do 35 to 44. And then Thursday, this week, we'll do number 45 to 54. And on Friday is where your warm-up log is due, exclamation point. And we'll do number 55 to, and I don't even know how long this one is. Let's see, where does it go? Oh, it's all the way until 60, I think, huh? Yeah, it is until 60. So we will be using a majority of the time to finish this. So we'll do 55 to 6. Actually, it'll just be 55 to 60. So we will be done with your warm-up log by this Friday, which is great. And then next week on that Memorial Day weekend, which you guys will not be here for, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we will continue on with just a few study skills and whatnot. And then that's it. And you guys will just take your final on that following Tuesday when I see you guys for the final. Yep, that's pretty much the plan. For those of you guys on Zoom, I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I'll see you guys next time.